Okay. And we are live. All right, just going to wait a few moments to get some people in the room. So come on in the room. And when you get here, if you'd like, drop in the comments where you are joining us from today so we can know and shout you out. Because even though we'll be talking about ATL, this is for anybody this evening. So come on in the room. Hope everybody is having a great evening, or if you're watching this later, having a great day. And I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to join us for another episode of Live Well Sister. So I see a few folks starting to come on in the room. If you would like, please let us know where you're joining us from. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Marcy Thomas, and I am the founder of Brown Girl Collective and also, obviously, your host here for Live Well Sister. Live Well Sister is an opportunity for me to connect with and introduce you to and have conversations with great Black women who are doing wonderful things in their careers or just have expertise or knowledge in different areas that can be of inspiration to all of us. So over the course of the weeks, you will see people who are experts in family matters or finances or self-care or just, as I said, those things that help us to live our best, most fulfilled lives. So tonight's guest is no exception, and she's someone that I've had the opportunity to meet and experience what she has created, and I can't wait for you all to meet her. So without any further delay, going to go ahead and get started. Our guest for this evening is Tarika Sullivan, who is a native of New Jersey, who by day is an educator, but she has taken her love of Black women, Black culture, Black art, and Atlanta and created one of the city's most wonderful experiences. Launched just last year during COVID, when everybody was out on quarantine, Black Girl Magic Tours was created to provide you with an opportunity to take in the Atlanta skyline and get a panoramic view of the city. While the beauty of the murals that you will see are featuring beautiful Black women and cultural icons do take center stage during this experience, the tour is really much more than that. It's a chance to connect with other sisters, spark new relationships, and remember why your magic matters. I could say so much more about this, but our lovely guest is waiting for us. Now, without any further delay, I'd like to introduce you all to Tarika Sullivan of Black Girl Magic Tours. So welcome, Tarika.
Thank you, Marcy. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited about our conversation this evening.
Yes, this is going to be a lot of fun. As I've already mentioned, I had the opportunity to meet you and go on one of your tours over the weekend. And so before we dig deep into our conversation, I want to share with everyone just a little bit of what they will experience if they go on a Black Girl Magic Tour. All right. Well, yes, that's just a little snippet of what we experience or what you will experience if you decide to go on one of these lovely tours. So, Tarika, now I know that you are a native of New Jersey. So how did you end up ending up in Hotlanta?
Like so many people, after I finished college, I started grad school. I went to two HBCUs in Huntsville, Alabama, Oakwood University and Alabama A&M University, where I earned my master's degree. And after completing that degree, I decided it was between New Jersey and Atlanta. And if I moved to New Jersey, I knew that I was not going to be able to afford to live in an
Mm.
apartment that I could pay for myself. So off I came to Atlanta. I instantaneously fell in love with the city because it was here in Atlanta that I saw Black people thriving. I saw Black home ownership. I saw Black people in positions of power. Not only Black people, I saw Black women. Like, they were superintendents of schools, they were doctors, they were dentists, they were orthodontists, and I was just blown away by it, by the representation. It was so good to see that. So that's why I love Atlanta.
Right, and I would have to agree. I have only been here actually about 6 months now that I moved to Atlanta, but prior to that I was living down in Southeast Georgia near Savannah, and I would come up here all the time, whether it's concerts or going to museums or just taking in the culture, because there's nothing like, or what people know as Black Mecca.
Right.
So that's what drew me here, and I'm glad to be here for that reason. And actually, your tour is one of the first things that I discovered and decided to go on and see what it's all about after moving here. So thank you for creating the experience.
Well, thank you for coming. I so appreciated that you found it and were willing to take a chance on it. I appreciate that.
No, absolutely. Appreciate you. So tell us now, of course, you've been here for a while and you've been experiencing all that Atlanta has to offer just on your own as an individual. So what was it that made you want to start a mural crawl or a culture tour, really? It's because it's all of that together. What made you decide that that was something that would be important, especially in the midst of a pandemic?
Marcy, there are so many factors that went into this tour becoming, to just living and becoming a thing. I am a world traveler. I love to travel around the world. I do this often. And so I'm always looking for new experiences, looking to get away to new cities, to new countries. And I'm always thinking about, what would I want to do if I were to travel? What are some things that I want to do if I'm in a different city? So, for example, when I go to Paris, or if I'm in Kingston, Jamaica, or traveling, to Mexico for a long weekend, or going to South Africa or something like that. I'm always thinking about what are some things that I can do, and I'm always looking at different excursions and experiences in different cities. I realized that being in Atlanta, people who you know from back home, or people who you've met throughout your life, especially Black people, they're coming to Atlanta to visit, right?
Right.
They love to visit this city. And so I have found that when people would come here, they might ask me, friends maybe from high school or from college might ask me, hey, Tarika, what are some things that we can get into this weekend? What are some things that I can do? What should I do? I found myself taking people to the murals that I really loved around the city. People would come in town and say, hey, I have a 3-hour layover in Atlanta on my way to another city, on my way to New York, or on my way to London. What can I do? And I would say, oh, well, I live near the airport. I will pick you up and I'm going to just show you a few of my favorite murals around the city. Of course, my favorite murals are ones that really celebrate and highlight the beauty and brilliance of Black women. And so after a while, I decided, you know what, I feel like this can be an experience. And I just started like jotting some notes down, and I told a friend of mine about it. And Charlie, I knew him from a school that I worked in. Told Charlie about it. Charlie was like, I like this idea. I need you to get a website together, and we're gonna do this. We don't know how it's gonna get done, but we're gonna do this. And so from that conversation, it was birthed. And so I had the idea of going to these murals that celebrate Black women. He had this idea of, now we're going to really add this luxury touch to it, in terms of Black women really deserve luxurious things, dripped in opulence. And so that is the birth of this tour. I also want to say that I have some history and background in in work around Black women.
Okay.
So I was a natural hair blogger early in the natural hair movement back in like 2011, 2012. I had a natural hair blog, which wasn't so much about me doing my own hair, but more so like the socio-political movement and why, like the reasons why Black women were going natural or returning to
Right.
natural. I put that blog on the back burner after I won an award for it. I put it on the back burner so that I could finish my dissertation. And my dissertation was an examination of the experiences of Black women educators. So I completed my dissertation in 2015. And so this was like something that really I could be passionate about, Black women, because I'm always about supporting Black women.
Well, I appreciate that, and I definitely understand that because, like you, and I think it's one of the reasons why we connected when we first met, is that we both have this desire to celebrate and honor Black women, and it's been something that's been a part of our lives, for a long time in a variety of ways. So now you mentioned Charlie. Now, if you go on the ride, he is the person who is driving us around. For those who haven't gone on the tour yet or looking to do that, he is the person who does the driving and makes sure that we're safe while we're out in and around the city. So now tell us a little bit. I know what the experience is like, but you mentioned the luxury of it. And I definitely agree that it was. I mean, not, just from first getting on the van and then everything else. So what is it about, what makes the tour luxurious, or what can people expect once they sign up to go on a tour with you?
Yeah, certainly. So luxury. So when you board, you're boarding a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. That has been customized. It is beautiful inside, and we greet you with a Black Girlini. A Black Girlini is something that my sister Shayna actually created, which is a sparkling wine mix that is super sweet, super delicious. All of our guests really love it. And then we also serve melanin cupcakes. Melanin
Mhm.
cupcakes are served, and it's just a really nice touch just to see. I feel like um, it's all in the details. People really pay attention to details in this during this experience, and I don't want any stone left unturned. So from the music that we play to the conversation that we have, it is all intentional to make my guests feel like they are on a pedestal. It's all intentional.
Absolutely. And I definitely would agree with that because while we were on the tour, I figured, oh, we'll just get on and, yes, we're having our drinks and stuff like that. And people will meet new people and talk and things like that if you're going on the public tour. But one of the things that I also love that you did was you opened it up for us to talk a little bit about ourselves, which sometimes for us as Black women, it's hard for us to open up and talk about ourselves or find the beauty or the magic within ourselves. So I really appreciate that. And that's kind of why I said earlier that it's not, yes, there are certain things we go on it for the tour and to see the murals and take pictures and all that sort of thing. But I think, for at least for myself personally, what made it such a great experience is the opportunity to talk about ourselves and hear what other women have to say about themselves. So I know everything is intentional with what you're doing. So I think that's powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that people don't necessarily find experiences fun if they're by themselves or if they feel that they don't have anyone to speak to or converse with. So I wanted to really put some structures in place that got people talking, that relax people, so that they feel comfortable in the experience, and it just makes it that much more enjoyable. It's like I'm building a network. I'm This is sisterhood. I'm cultivating sisterhood.
Absolutely. And I would agree because I met several people and we're now following each other and, liking each other on Instagram and things like that. And, who's to say what stems from that? One of the other things I loved on my particular tour is that, yes, it's all about Atlanta, but you had people who are natives of Atlanta who had never gone and seen these different murals or different parts of the city. And then you had newbies like me, and then you had folks who were just here visiting. So I thought that was powerful that, all these different women from different spaces were able to come together and enjoy this same experience.
Yeah, it is shocking and surprising to me every time Charlie and I board, when we are looking over our guest list or people reach out to us before the tour and let us know where they're coming from. We have had people on the tour that you were on who flew in from DC for this tour. We had people before flying from Chicago for this tour. We had people come in drive from South Carolina for this tour. And so when we began it, it was really just a labor of love. Like, let's see how receptive the city is to it. To see people coming from out of town, that's something that we did not imagine would happen, but we're just incredibly grateful.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a blessing because it gives people a different view of the city. It's just there are certain things, people come to go to the King Memorial, go to certain things, but this
Yeah.
gives you a whole nother view. And what I also love is that you incorporate the history into it. It's not just about looking at the murals. You have taken the time and done the research to find out, the history of the neighborhoods or things that are going on. So it's definitely a different view than what you might get from other, more traditional tours, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Yeah, my clientele is interested in the history and the education and the beauty and just the brilliance of the characters who we see in these murals. And they're also very interested in the artists and the muralists themselves. So I want to put together, or I have put together an experience where all of that comes together, so people can feel like it's more than just eye candy. We
Hmm.
are more than murals, more than murals.
Absolutely. Absolutely more than murals. Now, question, have you had a chance to, on any of the tours, have maybe interact with any of the artists or anything yet, or that's something that may come later, or?
So not as yet. We have not had any muralists on the tour or stop anywhere where the muralists join us. But that is possibly an opportunity. Maybe that will happen in the near future. You never know.
Yeah, that would be just an extra added bonus to to hear what people were thinking when they created the artwork and things like that. So I don't know. I do know that of course you have your public tours, which you're doing normally once a month, but of course that's changing some now. Tell us a little bit, what for those who might be interested in joining one of your tours in the future, kind of how that works, either as an individual or a group tour that is for public or private tours as well.
Okay, so we generally have one public tour a month, and we reserve the other weekends for private tours. However, and that's how it's been for since we started back in August 2020 during the pandemic. But I think now, as people are, getting vaccinated, people are more open to being outside and maybe wanting to experience some staycation activities. They are more open now to being on a sprinter that is
Right.
enclosed. So for people who are interested in booking individually, one ticket, 2 to 3 tickets, that is fine. They just have to go to the website, www.blackgirlmagictours.com, and they can purchase tickets there for individual public tours. And they can also request a private tour by simply emailing us on Instagram, or emailing us at info@blackgirlmagictours.com, and just saying, hey, I have these dates, I'd like to set up a private tour. July is going to be the first month where demand has really pushed us to consider actually having 3 public tours. So
That's
we're
good.
just incredibly grateful. 3 public tours, and we're just incredibly grateful. We
That
have been
sounds good.
we've sold out of our past public tours. So
And that's really good to see that. I'm happy for you, excited to see,
thank you.
what all is happening with that. I do have a quick question though about the private tours. Now, just for you to know, a tour normally is about maybe 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it's typically it's becoming longer. It was supposed to be 3 hours. It became 3.5, and I think your tour was actually 4.
It was raining though, so
Yeah.
so that kind of changed things. But yeah, rain or shine, it was
And
raining.
yes, and whatever the spirit moves us, we might say, hey, we have a list. Before the tour, we have a list and we already know where we're going. We know which sequences we're going to hit those murals that we want to go, however the spirit moves us, right? But sometimes we're on a tour and the vibe is just like, hey, we got to go to this one because
Mhm.
this is just the vibe that this group is giving off. So we have to go to this particular mural. And I think that is what uh, that lengthens the tour, but I think it's what our guests certainly appreciate when the mood is right.
Right, and I was just wondering about that because I know Atlanta has so many murals, which is a beautiful thing, and there's no way you could ever hit all of them. So I was just, wondering because I know there were some that I saw in pictures that we didn't necessarily stop at because, like one about voting, for example, but we're not in the midst of a voting cycle right now, so that kind of, that makes sense with that. So, but yes, someone said sorry about the rainy days. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna happen, especially
It's
here in Atlanta in the summer. It's going to happen. I
seasons
guess
are
it's
changing, but
right,
I
as
will
long as it's not a tornado or something.
or like a thunderstorm. But I will
Right.
say we are really concerned about how people feel. Our tours run rain or shine now, but we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that your experience is one that's memorable and beautiful. So if it's raining, umbrellas, ponchos, you bring the galoshes, you bring the rain boots, and we'll provide the ponchos and umbrellas if you don't bring them yourselves.
Right. And that was an extra added touch as well that you did that because, yeah, thankfully on our tour it never really got real hard, but it was like a constant drizzle. So, but it was still a beautiful. It was really beautiful to be able to do that and experience it. But I guess back to what I was thinking now, depending on what I guess say for the private tours, for example, if someone is say having a birthday or a bridal shower or anything like that, do you maybe change some things based upon what it is that they may be doing for that event?
So, good question. So, we have had a number of people who have reached out for, hey, my family's in town. I kind of want to make this like a family affair or a Mother's Day affair. We've had a lot of birthday parties. We haven't had any bridal showers yet, but that would be a really great idea for some people to get together and bring their bridal party together. That would be
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. But what we do is we offer a standard. We have some standard offerings. If there are additional things that our guests want, we can definitely make those things available. They just an additional fee, but yeah, we are catering and making this experience as beautiful as it can be, what you need it to be.
Well, that's good to know. No strippers on. I'm just
Nah,
kidding.
nah, nah.
That's a whole other tour then. That's a real party bus then.
Real party bus.
Well, and I have one of your mugs for you.
Oh,
Okay, the
lovely.
one. Oh, you see my lipstick? Maybe not. Listen to Black women. Yes.
Yeah, Black Girl Magic Tours merch, finally available right now. It's exclusively sold on tour, from shirts to our mugs. But I think soon we will consider branching out.
Right, that sounds good. So, just in general, we are Black women and we love celebrating Black women. Is there anything in particular that you would like our sisters who are watching to know just about this experience or what you think that they would get from coming on a Black Girl Magic tour?
Good question. So I think it's such a unique experience. When I tell people what we are, what we do, the first thing they say is, that's a really novel idea. This
Mhm.
is something new. This isn't something that you have experienced before.
Right.
All right. So I invite you to check us out it is more than murals, as I've stated before. It's really an opportunity for you to celebrate yourself, for you to bring, to connect with others, and to just bask in our own greatness and beauty, brilliance. So that's what you can expect. You can expect conversation. You can expect history, education, art, connection. And you can also expect a space to be vulnerable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, that is something, because some of the questions that you pose are things that, you actually have to think about and, really express who you are as a woman, or how you've grown as a woman, or learn to maybe pump yourself up when you're not used to doing it. So yeah, that's really powerful, because we do all have our own, magic, but sometimes we don't realize it, or our magic is tied to our work, or our magic is tied to our children, or to, our spouse or whatever, but it's not necessarily tied to the things that we have within. So by being in this, having this experience, this luxurious experience, being around other women having the same experience, and then just being able to talk and share, take your selfies, or, get pictures in front of beautiful art. I really do think it's a wonderful experience. And I look so forward to staying in connection with you and seeing what comes next.
Thank you, Marcy. Yeah, we're constantly in this iterative process of design and thinking about how to improve and how to just continue to support and uplift Black women. So that's what Girl Magic Tours, the experience.
All right. So, well, we're not going to hold you all night tonight, or tomorrow, whenever you're watching, but wanted to have a chance to give you a great overview of Black Girl Magic Tours, to meet the person behind it, the wonderful, beautiful, and blessed Tarika Sullivan, who has created something beautiful for us, and we just know that there's much more to come. So before we go, of course, we've been scrolling the ways to get in touch with you. What are the dates of your next tours, so people who might want to get involved, or see what's coming up next, if they're not ready to schedule a private tour?
Okay, if you are not ready to schedule a private tour, we have our next available tour is July 25th, Sunday, July 25th. Our other tours, grateful to say, have sold out for the month of July, and that is the last one in July. We have a few seats remaining, so people can go to www.blackgirlmagictours.com and they can purchase their tickets for the next tour. For those who are interested in booking a private tour, rally your friends and send us an email and let us know the dates that you're considering, and we will see if that date is available for a private tour, and we will take it away for you and make sure that you have a phenomenal experience.
Okay. And just, Alana, how many people do you do on a private tour?
Up to 12.
Okay. Just wanted to mention that so somebody doesn't come with 30 close friends.
No.
There's only so much space.
Only 12, and it's really important for us to have that intimate space.
Absolutely.
For the connection that we want to cultivate. So,
all right. Well, sounds good. Well, Tarika, thank you so much again for the experience of going on the tour. Thank you for being here and introducing people to what you're doing. And I pray the best and blessings for you as you continue to build your business. And those of you who are watching, please follow her, get on the mailing list, all those great things, so that you can keep up with what she's got going on. So I wish everyone you have a great night. I'm going to run the video again for those who may have missed it. So I want people to see what it's all about. And after that, everyone have a good evening, a good day, and you all be blessed, and we'll catch you the next time. So
thank you,
give me a second.
And
You're
thank
welcome.
you all. And I certainly appreciate you.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and run that video again. Thank you, everybody. You have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.